right? Let's go ahead and get started. As we mentioned, we've got a bit to get through, and we want to be respectful of your time, so we're going to get through it quickly. But there will be some details. You may want to take notes. You may have questions to give to us later. Let's go ahead and spin up Callie. Callie, I see we've got your camera hot. I will go ahead and turn this over to you.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Dennis. Welcome again, everyone. I'm going to be talking a little bit today about Windows 11 mostly, but we're also going to touch on the impact on outdated PCs, really what the true benefit for refreshing to Windows 11 is, and then how Dell can help you get to those desired solutions. So next slide, Austin. Perfect. So I kind of took my own thunder away, team. But this is basically a date that I'm sure everyone on this call is super familiar with, right? Windows 10 does go into support on October 14th of 2025. So without further ado, let's jump into the meat and potatoes of the presentation. So Austin, next slide. All right, Austin, and then if you'll just bring in some of the information on the rest of the slide there, that'd be perfect. But let's talk a little bit about what's the impact of actually staying on Windows 10. So let's start with security, which I'm sure is top of mind for just about everyone on this call, right? Right now, Windows 10 does get regular updates, and it does help fix vulnerabilities, and it protects against new threats across the board. So really net is if you stick on Windows 10, just know that you are going to miss out on those crucial updates that's going to leave your system at risk. Now, cyber attackers across the board are using advanced tactics, right? They're using advanced technology to truly target that unpatched software. So their attacks are more precise, and heck, they're stealthier than ever, right? So we just want to ensure that modern PCs, right, when we talk AI PCs, when we talk Copilot Plus PCs, those are our modern PCs that do come with AI-enabled security features, and it's going to truly help you counter those emerging threats because they're always going to get smarter. Now, moving on to malware and viruses. Without the support, like we've discussed prior, the risk does go up. Now, our malicious actors, right, they can exploit those known vulnerabilities to infect your system. So as soon as we figure out, what they're doing, that's going to shift, right? So it's an ever-evolving kind of conversation and threat that's out there. Now, let's talk about performance. Older PCs, they can be slow, right? Which is going to affect overall productivity, efficiency, and it's going to lack the AI processors that are modern PCs, right? Those advanced AI processors are going to enhance productivity, they're going to improve overall workflow, and they're going to take those repetitive tasks and actually automate that across the board. I don't know about you, but I absolutely love the fact that my PC can, in fact, automate some of those tasks. Helps me move that much faster. I think Dennis alluded to that earlier in one of his comments, right? Our book of kind of to-dos is getting larger, not smaller. So older PCs, they may work, right? And they may work well, but with new security, new applications, and devices, it's truly hard to integrate new technologies that are really going to continue to be effective for your business and for your end users. So staying on Windows 10 could put your business at risk. And for those industries that do have non-compliance regulations like HIPAA, GDPR, new modern devices are insanely crucial. Furthermore, if you decide to stay on Windows 10, just know that the cost it's high, right? So all Windows 10 devices are technically eligible for extended security updates through Microsoft. But keep in mind that this 3-year subscription does cost $427 per device. So when we're talking about ROI, when we're talking about PC refresh, let's always consider that additional cost, and let's consider the risk for not transitioning to Windows 11 with those modern PCs. So Allison, next slide. Now, I talked about getting into the meat and potatoes, right? This is truly where kind of the meat and potatoes lie. So Austin, the first one is security. The second one, we're looking at manageability. The third is cost, which we touched on briefly. The fourth is productivity and AI, which I know is kind of top of mind for everyone these days. And then Dell services offerings. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So we're going to start with security, right? Our Dell commercial PCs come with features like BIOS verification, indicators of attack. The reason this is crucial is because it helps detect those threats early, right? We talked about the threats, we talked about malware, we talked about viruses. Well, these features truly help us detect those issues sooner than later. So these detections are really made visible through Dell-only device telemetry. That's insanely important because Dell brings those additional features to ensure that your environment is super secure. Now, when a Dell commercial PC comes with Intel vPro, it does detect those potential threats early. Now, this is quickly communicated to the OS for faster and more effective resolution, right? Now, of course, moving to the OS, which is my favorite piece. So moving to the OS, Windows 11 Pro, it's secure by default, right? There's multiple layers of hardware back protection to safeguard that sensitive business information that we all have, that we're all trying to ensure is protected, especially with these evolving threats. Now, I've got a little survey result here for you. So according to TechISle survey, there was a 62% reduction in overall security incidents, right? And there was a threefold decrease in firmware attacks with just a Win 11 PC. And of course, that's compared to a Win 10 device. So ultimately, by choosing a Dell Windows Pro PC, your users and that data are truly going to be protected. All right, Austin, next slide, which is more on security. So one of the standout benefits is the significant reduction in identity theft, which I'm sure at least a handful of customers on this call have dealt with that before. So just know that Dell Win 11 PCs can cut that identity theft down by nearly 3 times. Another key feature is the just-in-time administrator, say that 10 times fast, privileges offered by Windows 11. Why this is important is because it does boost security while still allowing necessary functions, right? So again, that's just another layer of security baked into that. Now, let's move on to app security. So Windows 11 ensures that all verified applications can run on your device. We will talk a little bit more about this in the upcoming slides, but keep in mind that this helps keep those malicious attachments and malware at bay. So additionally, Windows Hello, which I know I use every single day, and I think all of my colleagues on this call could probably agree with that as well, but Windows Hello does provide built-in multi-factor authentication with the support of passkeys, making your secure sign-in a whole heck of a lot easier while also protecting user data. So it was a total game changer for me. Finally, Dell, our partner at Intel, and CrowdStrike have teamed up, right, to provide top-notch threat detection and response. Now, this collaboration combines Dell Secure PCs, Intel Silicon capabilities, and of course, CrowdStrike's endpoint security. So net from these two security lights, the most important thing to remember is that our Dell modern PCs can enhance your long-time cyber resilience. So with AI at the forefront and with security top of mind, That is absolutely critical. All right, Austin, next slide for me. All right, we're going to get into bullet point number 2, which is manageability. So let's start the transition process, right? Moving to Windows 11 is smooth. And the reason why, and I'm sure a lot of you know this, but it's built on the same platform as Windows 10. Now, if you've been in the technology industry for a while, that necessarily wasn't the case when we had the Win 7 to Win 10 transition, right? That was, for lack of better words, tough for a lot of customers. That has kind of been nixed, and our transition is a whole heck of a lot smoother. So next, let's talk about app compatibility. So Dell is a Microsoft Fast Track partner. Now, why this is important is because it offers AppAssure to resolve any app compatibility issues on Win 11 devices at zero charge to you and your employees. So Windows 11 also supports a broad spectrum of ecosystems, right? Apps, peripherals, devices. We'll touch a little bit more on that here in a moment as well. But when it comes to overall deployment, Windows 11 Pro, it does enable a reported 25% faster deployment, which really helps you and your team members work seamlessly through that existing technology, right? Now, finally, the Dell Management Portal for Microsoft Intune. I love this because it simplifies device management. It offers enterprise application access and publication capabilities. So all of these things that are built around management are truly in place to help you kind of navigate the complexities and the effort of your overburdened IT teams. All right, Austin, next one, we're going to be touching on overall costs. So let's talk about the cost associated with outdated PCs. And when we say outdated PCs, right, we are talking about Win 10 devices. So with outdated PCs comes the first, right, which is frequent repairs. The second, which is help desk tickets. So over time, those things can truly add up, and it's going to impact those PCs with slower performance, which is going to impact overall productivity for you and your teams. So I've got another stat for you here. According to a Forrester study, Win 11 PCs do deliver, are you ready for this? 250% ROI through reduced help tickets, right? Improved productivity and easier deployment, which is what we just talked about on the other side. So net is if you stick with Windows 10, extended security updates, or also known as ESU, will cost, like we said before, $427 per PC over 3 years. Now, it's important also to note that if you do that, these PCs will not have any new features or any AI benefits. So if you think of it like this, you're not really future-proofing yourself with extended security updates for Windows 10 devices, okay? Moving on to cost savings. I'm sure your ears are going to perk up here. So Dell Apex PC as a service, if you have not heard about this yet, it can unlock capital for modernization and transition to Windows 11 on our new Dell AI PCs. Now, employees can get the latest tech in hand, right? And it's going to help improve overall operational efficiencies across the entire team. And of course, you as an organization will spend less upfront compared to outright purchases, which you've done in the past. Finally, Dell's asset recovery. It allows you to securely retire old assets. So you don't have to figure out where in the heck to send those to. Dell can handle that for you. And it adds a seamless transition for new tech, right? It's actually getting the new technology in hand for your team members. Austin, next slide. Okay. Now the exciting bit, so productivity and AI. So let's talk about the benefits of AI. right? Refreshing those PCs with new Dell AI models can significantly boost productivity and obviously collaboration across the board. It's achievable through our 111 Pro PCs, but more importantly, or more specifically, I should say, our Dell AI PCs and our new Dell Copilot Plus PCs, which are available across Intel, Qualcomm, and AMD. Now, a new study from Principal Technologies found that users were 50% faster on Windows 11 devices versus Win 10 devices. So that means faster workflows, faster productivity, and again, overall collaboration. Now, let's talk about delaying a PC refresh, right? We've kind of alluded to that fact up until this point, but delaying that PC refresh really means that your workforce is missing out on innovation, right? Because they have old PCs in hand. So embracing those new AI PCs really empowers your teams to accomplish more and heck, to just move faster, right? So those AI powered solutions enhance productivity. Of course, they streamline workflows, they improve video conferencing, right? And they integrate those advanced AI features that are baked in to Windows 11 Pro. So really, what I want you to take away is to equip your team with the latest Dell PC is critical. And Dell PC accessories and monitors also help maximize overall AI productivity. They all play in the same pool, right? So Dell's range of accessories include AI-driven noise-canceling headsets, which I'm on, iComfort certified displays, and of course, I'm sure you all are familiar with this, the Copilot key on the keyboard, which does auto-prompt that Copilot functionality. So I myself love that key, and I'm surprised I haven't worn it out, to be honest with you, on my keyboard. But Dell does offer an effective solution for running common AI workloads on Dell devices, right? And how we do that is through our open source AI reference guides. Now, these have been rigorously tested and validated by our engineers. So think simplified IT application development using NPU technology. So NPUs are part of those Win 11 Pro AI PCs we've talked about, and those Copilot Plus PCs as well, okay? So some additional benefits that we can talk about as well is improved privacy and security, and that's gonna help just keep that sensitive data on the device and keep it secure. Now, let's talk about specialized hardware for AI, right? It's gonna help parallel computing, and it's truly going to help minimize power consumption, right? So any AI PCs are going to have longer battery life and just be able to handle those AI workloads that much more effectively. Now, lastly, and I think this is really important, it can also help save on operational costs by handling, again, those AI tasks locally, which I just mentioned. It's going to reduce the reliance on costly cloud services, okay? Austin, next slide for me. Now, last but not least is our Dell services. So how can Dell services truly support you in your transition to Windows 11? So I think the first piece is really starting with the range of services we offer, right? So Dell provides comprehensive assistance through 5 things total: consulting, deployment, support, management, and education. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering, well, can SMBs access these services? Can enterprise companies access these services? The good news is companies of any size at any transition stage can utilize these Dell services. And we are a leader in OS transitions. Therefore, we want to be able to leverage our extensive experience, our amazingly broad portfolio, and of course, these services solutions we're talking about. So with more Microsoft competencies than any other partner, right, we utilize our global end-to-end supply chain, which truly makes us stand out amongst the rest. Now, it's going to help us increase efficiencies. It's going to help reduce costs, timely delivery, reduce risk, and of course, enhance sustainability, which is one of Dell's main priorities. So from planning to migration to application assistance, think M365, think Microsoft Entra ID, think AI configurations, Dell services truly ensures that you and your company feel supported throughout the entire process, not just a sliver, which I think is huge, right? All right, Austin, I think I'm ready now for the next slide. It's my next and last one, actually. All right, so in summary, what the heck have we been talking about, right? Well, let's dive back into kind of the 3 pillars, and then I've got an analogy for you as well that'll help kind of bring all of this home. So let's start with what's happening, right? Staying on Windows 10, which we've talked about after October 2025, which is our end of support, really exposes our systems to security risks and, of course, performance issues, right? So Microsoft will charge for that ESU update, extended security updates for our old Windows 10 devices. However, it is costly, and you're not going to have those new feature AI capabilities, which we're all kind of working to that future-proof state, and it is AI. That is what's on the forefront. So let's now, of course, talk about refreshing those PCs, right? So upgrading to Win 11 Pro or Dell AI PCs, or heck, even Dell Copilot Plus PCs, right, are going to help you with productivity, with performance, with collaboration issues or concerns. And then, of course, you're going to get the new advanced AI features. And I'm sure we've got some ITDMs on this call as well. You all will face fewer support issues and security incidents. I got excited there and I almost jumped ahead of myself. But I think that's critical, and I'm sure that's made your ears perk up a tad. So finally, why refresh, right? Why do we want to go to Windows 11? Well, planning for a Win 11 PC refresh, it's going to help ensure that you've got the most secure devices that are truly going to have the best performance and capabilities out there. And I'm not going to touch necessarily on cost again because we have reviewed ESU. It is an option, but really what I want to leave you with is it's all about PC refresh. It's all about Windows 11 and transitioning to the latest and greatest Microsoft OS. So lastly, and the thing I want to leave you with is the analogy, right? So think of it like running a marathon, right? In flip-flops, okay? Possible, but pretty uncomfortable and slow, right? So new running shoes improve your experience and your overall outcome, right? Similarly, upgrading to Windows 11 does the same thing, right? It's going to enhance business operations. So ditch those flip-flops, get a new pair of running shoes, and you're off to the races, right? Ditch the Win 10 PC, move on to Win 11, and you are set up for overall business success with Dell's advanced solutions. So Austin, Dennis, that's all I've got.